Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, you're welcome. I do sewing classes every week, every Sunday. I'll upload a new video about make what you see in the shops, and that means we're gonna recreate something that we see in the shops or online, and we do that from pattern to the end result, so you can make the whole garment in one class. And it is also for beginners, so if you're a beginner, don't worry, it's very easy to do. I explain everything very clear, so you can also do it. And in this week we're gonna make a party dress, because I thought, well, I haven't made anything festive yet these last months, so I wanted to make something for the holidays, for Christmas or for New Year's Eve. And I found a really beautiful sequin fabric, and I'm not really a fan of the normal sequin fabrics where the sequins lay on top of each other on the outside of the fabric. That is very scratchy, and your coat that you put over get all scratched in from the lining because the sequins are very sharp. And I don't really like the look of those fabrics because it's very shiny. I think it looks rather cheap. If you like it, don't get hate on me, but I personally don't like how it looks. But I found a different sequin fabric that is very nice. It is a jersey, and it has the sequences knitted into the jersey. So I'll zoom you in a bit and try if I can show you. Is it working here? Not really, but I will give you a close-up when I'm going. Oh, now you can see it. You see the sequences are into the fabric. It's not lying on top of it like with the pillows where you can go down that way, then it has a color, put them that way, then you have another color. These are really into the fabric, knitted into the squares. You can see that, and it's very nice because it gives a sparkle, but not that much. It's not too much. It's not that you're really shining when you're coming into a room, because I don't really think that is classy. And this is a really nice fabric. It is subtle, it is nice, it is festive, and we're gonna make a dress out of it. Rather simple, not a very difficult pattern, but because of the beautiful fabric and the plateless, it will look very, very nice. So we're gonna make that, and I don't know if any one of you noticed, but last week I uploaded on Sunday instead of Monday, and it was because I had a technical question that I couldn't figure out, and I needed my husband to help me, but I needed to upload a video to be able to show him the question that I had, so I had to do it in the weekend, so I uploaded on Sunday. And what I noticed, I had way more views within 10 minutes than I normally would have on a Monday in an hour or in 2 hours. So I thought, well, maybe Sunday is a better day to upload, because I also noticed myself before that there are not many YouTubers that upload on Sunday. It's the rest day, so they don't use it as a day to work maybe. But that means there are not that much new videos on Sunday. So maybe that's a better day to upload, to have more views and to get more people connected to us. So I'm going to try to upload on Sunday from now on. I don't know if it will work. Maybe I'll have to go back to Monday, because Monday is a better day for me. But if I can, I will try from now on to upload on Sunday. Probably Sunday morning, maybe Sunday afternoon. But to you it doesn't matter, because my time, what's it called in the world? I have a different time than people in the US, or people in the UK is not that much different, but because you on the other side of the ocean or the other side of the other ocean have way other time. So I will upload on Sunday at almost the same time as I would on Monday, so you will see it just a day earlier. So I hope you like it. Let me know if you like it or if you don't like it, because then I can switch it up maybe, because I don't know if I will like it, so I'll just have to try it out. So we're gonna start with the party dress, and please subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe and share my videos. We like to get some more people into sewing. As I always say, it's such a shame that not many people, especially in my country, are sewing anymore, and I think it's such a nice craft. It's such a nice thing to do in your spare time, and for me it is in all the time I have, as you know, because of my illness. But I'm really addicted to sewing. So please share my videos, please like them, that YouTube knows that you like my videos, and give me a comment if you have something to ask, something to say. Doesn't matter, I like to read the comments, and I always get back to you. Also, if you have a question, if something is not clear, just leave a comment and I will get back to you. So now let's go on to the party dress. So, and this was my inspiration because I saw this dress on Fashion Mumbler from Josie here on YouTube, and she said it was a dress from H&M, and I like how it looks. I of course want to alter it a bit because to me it is way too short, but I like to wrap in the bodice and the top, and not in the skirt so that it won't fly open. I like the satin ribbon, so I'm gonna do that too. I try to make long sleeve or more 3/4 sleeves, I think, but I'm not sure if I have enough fabric to that. But I like this very much. But what you see is this is that sequin fabric that I don't really like. It has the sequins on top of the base fabric, I must say, and then you get that very, very sparkly effect. And I don't really like that. I like my fabric way more. But if it is your style, certainly take that kind of fabric. It is way cheaper than mine. So if you like it, take that. So this is my inspiration, and not gonna change a lot, just the length, and the sleeves a bit, and maybe to you that is already a lot of alteration. But I will show you my picture how I will make it. So, and this is my drawing, and if you're new here, you may not know, but I cannot draw at all, as you see at my picture. But that doesn't mean that you cannot sew, that you cannot design. The picture for me, the drawing, is just a reminder on how I want to make it. So I draw the things like I can to remind me how I want to make it when I make the pattern. So it will be a wrap over a top part with elastic in the waist, so with an outgoing skirt. I make mine rather long because I like how it looks. But you can also make it knee length, whatever length you like. And I'm not sure if I have enough fabric for my sleeves. So I draw on long sleeve 1/4 sleeves, but I'm not sure if I can do it. Maybe it will be just short sleeves, or maybe just even klep sleeves, or maybe even no sleeves. But if you want to make sleeves, I don't make the pattern, I have a lot of tutorials on how to make a sleeve. So just watch some other tutorials of mine to see how to make a sleeve if you want to add that to this dress if I don't. The back will be just a plain normal neckline and same skirt, same sleeves of course, so not something really different. So I really think it looks really nice with this beautiful fabric. You can see now it's a bit shimmery, but not that much as a whole sequence fabric is, and I don't really like it. I like this more, it's just a subtle shine, and I like it very much. So we'll go on to the pattern. So for the skirt part, I didn't even make a pattern. I just draw you to show you how it will look. So it will be a rectangle that has the width of half your hip. So you make this 2 times, one front and one back. And the length is the length that you want your skirt to be. So whatever length. I take mine 80 centimeters, but make whatever you like. So just a normal triangle, one for the front and one for the back. Then for the bodice, you will need the basic pattern that is on my channel. I have a lot of basic patterns that you can just make for free in your own sizing. So very easy to do, and you can use them literally for the rest of your life. You just make once a basic pattern and you make the adjustments to whatever you want to make. And this is the basic pattern that I made really some time ago, so it's really worn out almost. And what you do is you put it on a new piece of paper and you trace out the pieces that you need. And what you need is of course your shoulder and your armhole, and then you mark where the mid is, because we're gonna extend that mid for the wrap over. And then what you do is you measure how much your quarter hip now is, because this is your quarter top. So your quarter hip you set out here to the side, from the mid to the side, and then you align that with where your arm hole ended, and you draw that in a line going down. And then for the front part, you have here your shoulder seam. You don't have to trace out your neck hole. I did that, but you don't need it. I see now that I did this wrong. And you measure then again from your mid part how far you want your top to wrap over. So I did mine 10 centimeters. And I have to get a marker now, because I did this wrong, because you're gonna align, you're gonna align that point where you want to wrap over to end. You match that to where your shoulder seam ended, and my ruler is too short, but that doesn't matter, you can just line it out. So you connect them from your shoulder down to where your web ends. Like this. I always take this away that I don't make mistakes when I cut it out. And then you have your your left part of your bodice, and when you flip it, your right part too, because they will be the same in mirrored version. And then for the back part, it will be just your basic pattern with the neck part in the top, on the top. The only thing is here you make the same adjustments for the side seam. So measure out where you put it on your fabric, measure out how wide this one is, and then do the same for this one. It is, for me, it's almost going straight down, but measure out, it can be that yours may go like this. So you can make a pattern out of it, but I will just measure it out on my fabric. And I happen to have exactly enough to make some 3/4 sleeves. So I took a sleeve pattern that I made before. I don't know of what garment it was, but I'll explain you very quick how to make a sleeve like this. You take your basic pattern and you measure out with your measuring tape how wide your armhole is, just by curving it here along the line. Then see here how much it is, 23 for me. And then what you do is you lay your measuring tape along a double folded piece of paper, and you lay it in somewhat across your measuring tape in exactly that same measurement you just measured. It was 23, so you make sure that the curve that you make is exactly the same. And you can make it this bold, this curved as I am. You can also do it more flat, then you get a more casual sleeve. It doesn't really matter as long as these measurements are the same. And then you trace that out on your double piece of paper. You measure how wide you want your sleeve to be on the end, how long you want it to be, of course, and how wide you want it to be, just by putting your measuring tape around your arm where you want your sleeve to end. And then you mark that there, and then when you cut it out, you have your whole sleeve, and you can use it like that. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna cut this out, and then I have everything cut out. I'll come back for the sewing part. So we have all our pieces cut out, and I see now in the viewfinder that it is not as sparkly for you as it is for me, and that's nice, because it will be very annoying, I think, when the whole video is sparkly and glittery. But for me it's very much sparkling in this light. So we have our back pattern on the fold, 2 front parts, 2 sleeves and 2 skirt parts. So how we're gonna start now is just, oh, and the nice thing about this fabric is you don't have to finish it, because it doesn't wrinkle. It is jersey, so it doesn't wrinkle, it doesn't fray. It's a jersey, so but because it's also knitted in with these sequences, it doesn't roll up. Normally jersey on the sides roll up, especially when you stretch it a little bit, but this won't. So you can also only just fold it in and then sew it down. So especially for this front part, you don't need a facing or whatever. You can do if you like to, but I will just fold it in a centimeter and just stop stitch it, and then you have a really nicely finished part, and you don't have to do anything different. I'm going to use my serger to sew it down because I like it, but you can just do a straight stitch on your sewing machine. You don't need a zigzag stitch or whatever, so just do a normal straight stitch and sew them together. So we're going to start with putting the front and the back part together by laying the front onto the back, right sides together. Oh, see, now I didn't cut through my 2 front parts, just a second. So we're going to put the front onto the back so that we can sew the shoulder seams. So put them right sides together. Of course the front will overlap, and you sew these 2 side shoulder seams. So we have sewn our shoulder seams. So now what we're going to do is we want to attach the overlap on top of each other, but first we have to hem this seam here. And as I said, you can just do it by folding it in 1 centimeter, pin it down, and then sew it down. It's very easy with this fabric. You don't have to make facings or rolled hems or whatever. Just fold it in and sew it down. So do that for both the mid-front parts. I'm really struggling now how to put on my camera, because I have put it literally into the Christmas tree, because the Christmas tree is standing right at the back of me, because we have it standing in the middle of our hallway, and I'm sitting underneath the stairs, so I have rather no place to sit here to film, but we'll manage. So what I wanted to say, if you want to sew this, make sure you put your settings on stretchy fabric if you can. If you don't have that on your machine, make sure you make your pressure lower. I have to put mine from 6 to 2, and that you use a zigzag stitch or a stretch stitch, or a stitch that is suitable for stretchy fabric, so not a normal straight stitch. Then you will get really problems, especially for with the seam that we are going to make now, because we're going to sew it all the way around. So we're going to not only do the front part, but you can also extend it to your back part, going on to the other front part. So we're going to sew that in one row all the way down. So now what you do is you put your overlap on top of each other, and for women it is right over left, and you pin that down here so that the width of your front part is the same as the width of your back part. And then you take your skirt part, and you put that on top of it, right sides together. And then you pin the front and the bottom on top of each other, for the front and of course for the back. So you do each part separately, of course. So you're gonna pin them down, and then you sew the skirt to your bodice. So now that we have our skirt parts attached to the top part, we're gonna sew the side seams. And I pinned it, and while pinning I thought, oh, maybe I should put some slits in it. I didn't want the slit in the front for the web, because that in the winter always gets open and it's too cold, so I really didn't want to web for the skirt too. But I think I will put some side slits on the skirt, because this is rather tight, because it is at hip width. So I'm gonna leave the bottom 30 centimeters open to see if I need that to have it fitted comfortably, and I can walk comfortably. Maybe I can close them up, I like that more, but I'm not sure if that feels okay. So I leave them open for now and see if I need that or not. So we're gonna sew now both the side seams, and then we only have to put in the sleeves and the hem. So almost finished. So now take some elastic and make a circle out of it in the size of your waist, and mark where you attach them. Mark the other side, so that's the middle, and then mark the fourth on your elastic, and do the same on your garment. So mark the side seams, and then by putting the side seams together you get exactly the mid front and the mid back. And then with the pins matching, you can pin your elastic down to your seam allowance where you attach the top to your skirt part, and then match the 4 pins that you just put on, and then if you want you can also pin it here in between. I just stretch while I sew and then sew on like this, but you can also stretch and pin it if you are more comfortable with that. And so while sewing, you stretch it out to get the right length for your elastic. And you sew that with a large zigzag stitch. I always sew on my seam allowance. What you also can do is fold the seam allowance to the top part and then top stitch the seam allowance and the elastic onto your top part of the dress. You can do that too, but I like it more to put it on my seam allowance. Now we'll take our sleeves and we're gonna fold them right sides together, and we're gonna pin and sew the sleeve seam for both seams. Now we're going to put in our sleeve in the armhole, and everybody always thinks it's difficult to put in a sleeve, but a normal sleeve it is not difficult at all. Just mark where the mid of your sleeve is, fold it together on the seam and mark the middle of your sleeve, and you're going to align that middle with your shoulder seam. So you put your dress one side out, you put your sleeve right side out, and you put it into the dress, and then you put that marking on the shoulder seam and you pin it there. So you pin them together, then you pin your sleeve seam on the bottom to your side seam. So match them and pin them together, and then the only thing you have to do is to pin the rest of your fabric into that curve, and when you just put the pins, take the pins, your fabric automatically stretches along that line, and you can just pin it down, and then you have your seam very nicely fitted in your armhole. And the only thing when putting in a sleeve is difficult is when you make a blazer, because then you have to hold in the top of your sleeve and you have some padding there, and that sometimes is a bit difficult to get it nicely done. But a normal sleeve is not a problem at all. You just put them inside each other as you normally do when you put right sides together, and then you pin them down. So you're gonna pin and sew the other side sleeve too, and then the only thing you have to do is hem the sleeve and hem the bottom of your dress. And if you made slits like me, also hem your slits, and you can very easily do that just by folding it in 1 centimeter as we did for the front part, and then top stitch it down. So I think I'm not going to show that because it's pretty self-explanatory and nothing special to do. Here is the party dress, and I think it's really nice and sparkly. Not too much, not too little. I like this sort of fabric more than, as I said, just the sequins things. I don't think it looks really nice and polished for clothing. It's nice for a pillow or something for holidays, but I don't like it that much for clothing. But I really like this one. It's of course not for every day, but for the holidays, for a party, it is really nice, I think. And it's just plain and simple, but that makes it beautiful, I think. I like when it's not that much of things and all kind of things on top of it. It's just the style and the plainness that makes it really nice. It's a really nice fit like this. And I'm not really sure about this. I thought it would be look nice with a lace ribbon, but I'm not really sure. It doesn't stay put nicely. It wrinkles up here in the back, so I have to adjust it every time. So I think it is nicer with just a normal belt in gold or in black. I think then it looks more nice, or maybe more stiff. I'm not sure. I have to figure out what to do when I'm gonna wear this, maybe for Christmas or for New Year's Eve or something. But you see, you can very easily, just with plain simple pattern, not that much of sewing, a nice slit that makes it better. Of course, you can also make the skirt wider out, that it's more flowy. I'm not sure if that's nice with this fabric, but you can try it out. If it's not, then you just make it straight on. But I really like this dress. It's very comfortable. It's not tight fitting. It gives you all the room that you want, that you need. I don't like it when tops are too tight for this kind of thing. It's too busty. I don't like that. But if you like it, certainly do that. But to me, this is really the perfect dress. Nice length of the sleeves. I was very happy that I could make sleeves, especially these 3/4 ones, because when it's colder weather in the winter, then it's nice that you have some sleeves around your arms and not just bare arms. So I'm very happy that I had enough fabric for that. And I think it looks really nice and polished. So I hope you liked this class. I'll be back next Sunday, I think, with the new tutorial. I'll have to try out if Sunday is a good day or if I better stay on Monday. I'm not sure yet, but I'm gonna try for Sunday for a new class. And I hope to see you then back. So thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe, please. We're trying to get 1,000 subscribers. That would be really nice to have a little small family together. So thank you so much, and see you next Sunday. Bye.